Mr. Ritchie brought up. Without an updated version of this, the seller of the property can simply decide to sell his property, quit paying his assessments, sell the property, and then the buyer does not have to pay the back assessments. So basically, if someone sells his property owing us money, the association, all of you people and us, are screwed.
That's
Because nobody collects
no.
amounts. Just a minute.
Title companies will require.
Well, titles, but
So yeah, let's listen.
Can I finish? Just let me finish. The law, this is what the law says. This is what 209 says. Okay? Now, title companies have their own rules and stuff, but this is what Chapter 209 says. So, in order to protect that, and the fact that we need to file this just so people know where we are and how to find us, that, again, allows us to collect back assessments. So, we thank that member that pointed it out to us, because this is one of the things that we, in the last 5 months, have not run across, and we didn't get done, but it will be done. It will be filed. So I'm just trying to explain, and then during, I just want to do the vote, and then we can discuss the motion, and then we can discuss and turn Rihanna loose, because she's member services expert over here.
No, you don't need to turn me loose.
Okay, Ken, and all it is, and you should have copies, all it is need a motion to accept this and then get it filed immediately, and then after that, we will follow the same format and merely make the change to the representative listed on it as we encounter a change.
Before we make that motion, can we make a correction?
Sure.
And this was back to this practice makes permanent. I looked at all the other ones; they were incorrect also. We're leaving out like 48 lots, the specialty lots.
Okay.
So Gabby and I need to pull the CCNRs, and we need to make sure that gets recorded, and you get the volume and page included because it's not a recorded plat. That's done by a survey on each one, but there are CCNRs that need to be filed.
Can I have this like immediately so we get this thing filed?
Yes, you can. I mean, we can check with her. I think there's one that was recorded, but there's another one that shows that every 6,000 square feet equals a new membership. That one probably has never been recorded, and it needs to be recorded. Like I said, the sins of the past need to be corrected, but before we can file this one, we need to add specialty.
So we need to add the specialty lot.
And then the other thing is, but this is going to affect everything. You see how the legal description says 2 tracts of land, but it starts with 2 and 3? I mean, is that just a typo? Should it have been tract 1 and 2?
No, that's the way.
I know that's the way it is on the declarations, but it just is odd.
Yeah, but we have to go with what's on the.
So
That's what was filed. We have to go with what's filed. This goes back a long time.
What CCNRs are not recorded?
The specialty lots are. However, there was another one that was revised, and I don't know if that one was recorded. I'll have to check with Gabby on that one, because that's the one to if we're going to do a correct management certificate, include because like I said, there's 48 specialty lots that don't fall
So
into.
it's just specialty lots, CCNRs.
Right. Yeah, the CCNRs are just listed as being on certain
I was going to
pages.
say, hold a minute, if you're going
No.
to record it, we need to make changes before we do that.
No, this is just a general.
No, it's just to get it
Yeah.
in compliance.
Yeah, and if you look at, actually ours is a little more complete. Some of the larger homeowners associations have very little on this. It's basically name, address, and who. That's the basic part of it. And so it just, we'll just add the specialty lots in it just to make it official, and then, so can I have a motion to go ahead with filing of this?
I make a motion that we file the new
Second?
management certificate.
Second?
With correction.
With corrections.
Corrections, and as soon as we get a manager, we'll have to do this again. I mean, just keep it current.
I'll second it with the correction.
Corrections. Okay, any comments? Okay, Joe.
I just wanted to say that about the lien. If he buys that property,
This is off topic.
all right,
Okay. Okay, all those in favor of proceeding with the management certificate with corrections? Okay, it's unanimous. And Julie, you have that in your notes? We'll get that right away so we can get this thing filed. Okay, all right, this is for discussion only, and it's the swimming pool. Unfortunately, because of the drought, no rain in the recharge zone, we haven't been able to fill the pool from the spring. We filled it 4th of July for $600, but realized that that water in this heat, after a matter of 3 or 4 days, starts to develop algae in it. So you're spending $600 to fill the pool, so it's healthy to swim in for maybe 2, 3, 4 days. The spring is low enough now that Philip can't even pump direct from the spring. It would take days, and before that filled, the pool will collapse. We can't empty it and leave it empty, and we can't empty it and leave it empty and slowly filling for more than a couple of days, because otherwise you're going to have structural damage to the walls of the pool. So it's a conundrum. We had to close the pool because it was unsafe to swim in it. Some people are definitely allergic to different kinds of mold and algae, and we didn't want to face legal ramifications from keeping the pool open when it was unhealthy to swim in it. So I'm just going to open it to the board for some comment, and then we'll take 3 from the, we're not going to vote on it, but it is an agenda item. It's just to make everybody aware of what we're facing. And if, one other thing, there's been a comment that our assessments pay for that pool. Yes and no. That spring water is free. In the payment to MUD of water, it's not included in the budget, and it certainly wasn't included last year's budget last fall, starting October 1st. So it's a money issue also, because it wasn't budgeted. So we have that to consider. There's always donations, but again, how long is clean water going to last? So anyway, I'm going to just open it up for discussion. This is my opinion. I'm concerned about the safety of our members, and of course about protecting the integrity of the pool itself. So, Robert.
Yesterday, when I got in, I sat and talked to Philip, and I tried to find solutions to problems. So I was stretching, and I asked him, well, what if we filled the pool and bought some of those fountain aerators like you see at stock ponds or in front of a mall to keep their, and that would work to keep the algae down, we determined, but the bacteria that forms in the water, it probably would not help with that. And they were $1,400 each for the little aerator fountains, so that's cost prohibitive. I asked him, well, what if we closed off the entrance and the exit, and we super shocked the pool with chlorine, but because of the transverse joints in the pool that the Los Moras Restoration Project is looking at getting those filled, water could potentially leach down into the creek because it's not completely closed off, and that would cause a fish kill or a plant kill. And I mean, it's a real tough decision call to make. Even if we were to drain the water out, fill it up with mud water, and get 3 to 5 days of swimming out of it, we have to look at the environmental issues too, because drawing water out of the aquifer through the pumps, whenever we do finally get recharged rain, that's just more water that has to fall as rain and recharge the aquifer because we're drawing it out. And it's going to take longer to get the spring flow back. I mean, I wish I could tell you that this is an easy snap your fingers and you fix it, but when God and Mother Nature give you something like this for free, mankind can't just step in and fix it. And I really think that as much as it kills me because I bought my property here because of the pool, until we get some rainfall, it just needs to stay closed.
I think we're going to still have to buy some water because of evaporation. So we're going to have to watch that fairly closely. to make sure that it doesn't get down below a safe point.
I think we really need to kind of keep mud in the loop, because we all have to remember that, especially all of us that live here, when you go to your sink or flush your toilet, it's all coming from the same place. So we don't, I love the pool. I don't want it to be shut down. However, we could be in a really big pickle if residents don't have their water to bathe or drink or anything. We really need to pray for water, because it is a natural resource, and that's one of the draws, because it is naturally spring fed. We like the idea that there's not any chemicals and stuff in there, but right now it is unsafe if there's nothing flowing in there. And if people aren't taking bathroom breaks or whatever, you really don't want to be sitting in stagnant water. I mean, I know it's gross, but
It's the fact of the matter.
but like I said, that's not the only, the pool isn't it. I mean, that's our water source. So, I mean, we need to see where mud is, because I know they haven't really started restrictions on watering, but I'm sure that may be coming shortly. I mean, so we need to kind of get the mud board involved on this, because they need to be telling the members how close are we not actually having water in our homes.
Also, you could always go to, you go across the street and go to the town pool, or the county pool.
Right.
Oh, I thought you said just go to the well and fill it, it's kind of the same.
In San Antonio, Bexar County, Edwards Aquifer Authority has already reduced our pumping both for irrigation and for municipal use. And we have not done that here yet. So I think Rand is right. It's something that will be coming very quickly, and that's going to impact your lawn watering as well as other things. So, I mean, unfortunately, without the rainfall, we are all at the mercy of Mother Nature.
And pray for around Rock Springs, that's our recharge zone.
Just as a reminder, we've been through this a couple of times before, where the creek went totally dry to the point that the mud in the bottom of the creek was cracking. After both of those, we had major floods. You don't want to wish for a flood, but in this case, maybe so. And it could actually come to the point where the aquifer, where the spring is fed out of, the aquifer becomes so low that even mud is stressed to provide water. And we don't want to make that point come faster. At 1 million gallons of fill on that pool, that takes a lot of water.
And we do need to verify with mud, because I'm kind of thinking, when I was reading over the emails, it looks like we were like 3/4 full. So that means 600 was just for a quarter. If we had to do the whole thing, it would have been $2,400.
Approximately a quarter full.
Well, I would verify with mud, because if not, the way that, like if I took the residential water bill, and I would think commercial would be more expensive than residential, but I don't know if maybe mud gives a discount. I don't know. But it would have been for 1 million gallons, as to like if you look at your water bill, it's $2,400.
1 million gallons was $600. We are billed by mud at 60 cents a gallon. So that's $600 for that. Philip did say that the pool was only a quarter full when he ordered the mud water, and still took the whole day to fill it. But that is 1 million gallons, and it has to be emptied completely and cleaned and refilled. So 1 million gallons coming out of the spring and the aquifer.
I mean, the motel is making lots of money because of the pool, but again, before we make a decision, I think we need to involve the mud board, so that way they can tell us where the actual water table is for the residents.
Absolutely. For one thing, they could come to the point where we can't sell you water. So
that's what I'm just saying, before we make a vote, or we're not voting on anything.
We're just discussing, because members, after the 4th of July, we got some complaints from members because the pool didn't open until 4 o'clock on Friday. And they were upset that they couldn't swim during the day. Well, that's how long it took to fill the pool, even with mud's help. So we just wanted to have this discussion today to let our membership know that we're concerned. We swim, we go too, we're all members, but it is what it is. Like Robert said, you don't mess with Mother Nature, because there's not any way you can change it. And years ago when Jody was still here, and the spring was so low that the creek bed dried up, we had a couple of members accuse her of turning off the spring. So, which is impossible. And the state of Texas would really be angry with us if we tried to do something like that. But anyway, we don't have any control over it. So we just want the membership to know that we're looking at options, we're working with MUD. Philip's been in constant contact with them, and we're monitoring the situation, but until we get a lot of rain, there's not much we're gonna be able to do about it, so.
And just as a point of clarification, because I had a member call me and discuss this with me the other day about the pool. The pool is not structurally unsound. For the past 2 years, I've been hearing the pool's falling in, the pool's breaking, the pool is dangerous. The pool is not structurally unsound. Whenever Mr. Lucy came down from JQ Engineering out of Dallas-Fort Worth and did his assessment the other day, when the previous gentleman, starts with an L, Lamas, did his study. Lamas did his study. The pool was not structurally unsound. There are things that need to be repaired. The sidewalks around it, some of the wall within the spring retention pond, but the pool itself is sound. So please don't think that it's going to fall in. And this member was very adamant that we needed to cover it up to protect the safety of the members and do away with the pool. But I had to explain to them, all of the engineering studies that have been done so far say, once again, the pool is not structurally unsound.
If we drained it, it could become so
Could become.
very quickly.
Right.
So anyway, we just wanted to make sure that the members were aware, we're doing as much as we can, but at this point, we're working with MUD, lots gonna depend on MUD, lots gonna also depend on where we come up with $600 for every fill. So anyway, any more comments? Okay, we'll take 3 from the crew. Linda?
I just, one, I have a question, and that's, well, let me say something else. The reason that the pool gets green, and it gets a whole lot more green now than it did, say, 15 years ago, in between, is because someone has stocked the spring, that pond, what do you call it, retention pond, with tilapia. And tilapia are not native here. And what they're doing, these fish, is chewing up all the plants in there, and then all of that is flushed through with the water coming out of the spring into the pool. That's why it gets green so fast. Now, that's not to say it's not dirty now, but I'm just saying that's just an issue. All of those fish have to be taken out of there.
Get out your fishing poles, guys.
Well, they're
Texas
not.
Parks and Wildlife will help us with an eradication
Okay,
of the
good.
tilapias. That's part of the.
Then they're gonna pull up some of the plants in there that
Yes,
aren't
that aren't
native.
indigenous.
That will be cleaned as well.
Well, that's a good thing, because when it went dry before, we tried to get permission from TCEQ to pull it up, and they said, no. Can't
There are
touch
plants in there
anything.
that don't belong in there.
I know, and we pointed that out to
Yeah.
them, and they said that they refused to help us.
There's the fish hatchery in Uvalde. That's part of Texas Park and Wildlife. Could they maybe come and help?
Well,
They're gonna just
Oh, they're already gonna
electrocute whatever's in the pond.
They
Oh, so
just-
it's already been like scheduled?
No, it will be.
I'll make sure not be in the pool that day.
No, not the
It's-
pool,
No, it's
but
in
the
the it's
retention
in the
pond.
spring.
Yeah.
They do this all over the country when they're trying to get rid of
Right.
non,
and Texas Parks and Wildlife can be extremely helpful. After Texas State bought Aquarina Springs, Spring Lake, and San Marcos, Texas Parks and Wildlife came in, and on a 14-acre lake, they went through and cleaned out all the hydrilla, which is an invasive plant, out of that 14-acre lake. So, I mean,
They know what they're doing.
Yeah, they do have people that come in and do these things, so we're not gonna be going out there
No.
with an extension cord and, you know.
no, okay, well,
But wait, oh, can I had a quick question is, I wasn't here when the creek went completely dry. Does MUD put restrictions on lawn watering
They
and stuff
have.
like that? Okay.
yeah, they have in the past,
Okay,
yeah.
alrighty.
But the creek going completely dry like that was actually advantageous for a short period of time, because we were able to get old tree limbs, trees, tires,
Oh, pulled stuff out.
all kinds of stuff that, I don't know why people throw them in there, but yeah, so we were able to clean out all the stuff. Because the snakes scatter when the people.
Everything, well, everything scatters or dies.
Yeah, okay, number,
Ladies and gentlemen, I think y'all are on the right track. However, do not close the pool. If we need to buy the water, buy the water. Okay, this is 2020. I cannot.
We're gonna
believe-
discuss it with the mud
okay,
board,
I
because
cannot believe in 2020, we cannot figure a way either to clean the water or pump in the water. Now, when I read the dispatch, the first thing that came to my mind was, well, they might not sell us water. Well, until they tell us they're not gonna sell us water, buy the water. The pool needs to be opened for the membership. And there has to be a way to do it. Now, I would hate to come to the next meeting and nothing's done in 30 days. The pool needs to be open now.
what the membership's gonna do when we have no water in our toilets,
Well,
because we've opened it
now,
up for that.
I was here when the drought occurred. I walked on the dry beds. The water was still pumped into the pool, water was still flowing through my house, and I was still watering my yard. So we've already gone through this. If no one else had experienced it, based on what you all are telling everyone, like the world was coming to an end. That's not the
what we're
case.
saying. We're saying we wanna work with the
I know
mud
that.
board, and they can tell us where the water tables are, because ultimately, you guys are my top priority, and like I said, I love the pool, but I like being able to wash my clothes, so we need to work with the mud board.
Okay, if MUD says, I'm reasonable, and most members are reasonable. If MUD says we cannot put water into the pool because I will not be able to flush my toilet or get my coffee in the morning, so be it. It didn't happen before. I've been here for 15 years. It has never happened.
Okay, and I know,
So-
right, to protect my board and to protect my members, if we can get stuff from writing from the med board, because ultimately they're the utility district, so that's
Keep
where we
the
can
pool
start.
open, get some water in there, and we can do it. Now, the issue with money, we don't have a general manager. If the general manager is being paid $40,000 a year, which is very cheap, whenever he or she is hired, all right, then we have the money to fill that water into the pool. And I know better because I worked here and I know. Thank you.
and I'd like to let you know that the purchase of water was not built into the last budget from last year. There is no money budgeted to buy water from MUD. I want to let you know that right up front. And we have lost a considerable amount of revenue with cancellations of our venues, such as the service club and the golf course, stuff for events. We're behind, the motel is just now starting to create some funds, and we're still behind on the RV park. So we're looking at a budget that allows no money for the purchase. That's not to say that we won't have a fundraiser or we'll have donations. We did have a donor for 4th of July, but the board was able to approve the $600. But if we're going to do this every weekend for the rest of the summer, it's going to cost $600 every weekend.
If the financial
So-
situation is that dire,
No, it's not. No, it's-
I can't afford a manager either.
It's not dire, and we do need a manager because the board is not permitted to run the daily operations of the fort. The manager is more important than keeping the pool open
No,
on the week. Excuse me.
no, ma'am.
Hiring someone, a competent manager for here is more important. Buying computer equipment when our computers are vulnerable or have totally failed us is more important than keeping the pool open. Approximately 50 members, and this is from Matt, to 75 members, and some of those are visitors, use the pool every weekend, which means that 600, 700 people do not. So we have to look at the total population of the fort and the membership. Now, if we can, we find that we can afford, maybe it'll be every other weekend or something. We don't know yet.
Right now.
We're depending on MUD to help us through this.
So I know this is just discussion, but if we can maybe do this before, not for next meeting, but before that, maybe an email, just for our protection, and if we're thinking that we have the money for the pool, if we can get something from writing from the mud board, something that says that the water table's fine, I just want protection on us.
Yes.
So whenever we make these decisions, and hopefully, who knows, we may get a rainstorm tonight, but just for protection of everybody, because like I said, we do want the pool open, but we want to do our due diligence and not let you guys not have any water. So I want to put this responsibility actually on the mud board. 'Cause
Yeah, but if the mud board
if they're
is gonna
fine
say
with
we
it.
can have the water, you're talking $600 a week.
Well, I'm not saying every time, that's where we have to do our fiduciary responsibility too.
Well, if you're gonna
on that.
open the pool, you're gonna have to drain it and clean it every week,
Not
even-
every-
and that's $600.
And even at that, because it takes 2 to 3 days for Philip to fill the pool from the fire hydrant, it's only gonna be open 4 days and then it's gonna have to be done again. Additionally, in Lytle, I belong to a 50-member pool. It's called a country club, but it's just a pool. And we have to shut that chlorinated pool every Monday now because of the heat, and shock it with super treatment because it's turning green even though chlorine runs through it every day. Chlorine and heat and air dissipates very rapidly, and so our chlorinated pool is turning green and we're having to shock it for 24 hours. So it's a combination of the heat, of the drought, of the kids peeing in the pool. And well, I mean, let's be honest, it happens. And that's why this pool is going to last out of a week, is going to last 3 or 4 days with that $600 worth of water.
Maybe,
And once again, from the environmental standpoint, and I love the pool, I bought because of the pool, but from the environmental standpoint, what we pull out of the ground has to be replaced before the spring starts flowing again. And I was raised on a farm, irrigation is what we need, but you have to be wise with your natural resources. Not just say, it's 2020, I want it because I'm an American and it's my right and I pay assessments. We have to use common sense.
Okay, I think we've had two. Yes, ma'am.
What has been done in the past?
Can we have your name and your unit, please?
Kate Burkhart, what unit again?
21.
24?
21.
21, okay. I didn't know the address. What has been done in the past? You've had drought, you said the creek was dry. What protocol was followed then for the pool?
Well, I'll tell you, we had a healthier budget because we did not have COVID-19. And we did find money. We also had some donations. It cost us $24,000 that summer just to fill the pool. Okay, $24,000. So we're charged with the the financial health of this association. So we can't always give everything members want unless we have the money. Theoretically, if everybody on the fort paid every penny of every back assessment that they owed, we'd have plenty of money to do the pool all summer. But we have got members now that are struggling because they've lost their jobs because of COVID. And we have some people that just don't pay their assessments. So, and we've lost a lot of money because of cancellations due to the virus. And that's going to continue now that Texas is becoming a hotspot. So we are fiscally responsible as well. Okay, so.
We also had a massive flooding in July before too, and like I said, we went through this, and like I said, the next
Yeah, we had
that
floods.
night, it wasn't an issue anymore. I mean, Rock Springs got hammered. We got I'm hoping we don't have to keep going over this each board meeting. I'm really praying
Yeah, we don't.
that we have rain.
Also, after the second time, we received 11 inches of rain in 8 hours. And that saved us. And that, there's no outlook for that right now. So, anyway, we can take one more person.
I just have oh, I'm sorry, I have to do this. I think I remember this. Hi, Kathleen Warren, Unit 31. You like that? Wally, I mean, we've been coming down here since like 82, so unfortunately we're going to be here for the whole summer, but we're learning. We're going to support Rio Grande. Anyhow, my comment is, years ago when we first started coming down, it was either maintenance or a combination of maintenance and mud, and we used to watch them at the pool. They would take railroad ties and they had some of the backhoes and the front end loaders. It was really kind of cool. I don't remember how often they did it, but they actually ran the railroad ties through the spring, and they got rid of all the dead plants, all the invasive plants, and eventually a lot of the bobbers and dry fishing gear. The only person I who may remember this would be Joe, and I just am not sure why they stopped doing it, but they ran it through, and the spring was actually
I
immaculate.
wonder if TCEQ, because, railroad ties has lots of chemicals in it, so I'm wondering if their guidelines kind of, you know what I mean, like if you.
But they might have
I
changed,
don't-
because God, you can't mess with Mother Nature, and you can't clean out the creek either,
I don't
you know.
know.
But anyhow, it was really cool. They got it cleaned.
Part of that probably comes from TCEQ,
Yeah.
because one year there was a lady who was walking the creek from the bridge south, pulling out the weeds that were up in the creek. And TCEQ found out about it, and they told her to cease and desist. You cannot pull plants out of the creek. You could cut them off at ground level or water level, but you can't pull them out. And she was pulling them out. TCEQ brought that up.
You gotta remember,
Yeah.
once the water leaves the spring and gets into the creek, it no longer belongs to Fort Clark Springs, it becomes the property of the state of Texas.
Yeah.
So, okay, we have run that into the ground, but do be aware that we are working closely with MUD, and we may even, hey, if you wanna donate, there's always that opportunity. Okay, to discussion, the annual meeting site. Again, this is just discussion by law. We're required to have the annual meeting. We tried to find every way to prevent it, only because of COVID, but we have to have it. And we do not have the technology to do a large Zoom or anything else, but we are going to, talking with Philip, and it looks like the only place outdoors that has power for microphones and fans and is the amphitheater. It's going to be warm, but we'll try and have it earlier in the morning. But we're welcome to suggestions of elsewhere on the campus that has power and trees, shade, and so forth. So, yes.
It's not an indoor, or it's not an outdoor location, but I would suggest planning with the airport committee to use the historic airplane hangar and put tables and chairs there. It's huge, so there is a large area for social distancing. It's also covered, so if it rains that day, we're not sitting out in the amphitheater in the rain. And in the mornings up till noon or so, it's very cool in there, but we would have to get the approval from the airport committee to go there, correct?
There's no restrooms.
There's,
Well,
yeah.
That there's no restrooms in the amphitheater either.
Well,
unless
I'm
you
just-
go to
I'm
the
just-
pool. Yeah,
Just throwing it out there.
Yeah, there's down by the pool.
but it's not that long of a meeting. We're still not planning on a meal, correct? So if it's just a 45-minute to an hour meeting, at least it's covered should it rain.
Usually a breeze in there too.
Yes, it's very comfortable with the door open.
Is there power over there, Joe?
There is
Yes.
power. You know what else too? It's very hard to hear in there.
With the PA system?
Yeah, because it's huge echo. I agree with you, it's a good location. I'm not trying to discourage you. I'm just saying, no restrooms, hard to hear.
And you're on the airport committee, so.
I am.
No, we would need to inform the airport committee that we were having it there, because that is still common property. Rhianna?
In August, it's already like 110. You're either gonna kill our members with COVID or, heat stroke. I just think, I know that y'all say the law's the law on this or whatever, but I think, we can still do a member of the year, we can still do employee of the year. If we hire someone, send out a dispatch, or I remember we ended up doing the second annual meeting in here. Plus, we gotta watch the news day by day because seeing, you know, Texas has become a big hot spot. The extra money, I think if we could get an exemption that maybe we can like make a bigger party next year with maybe door prizes or something, we don't have the winter Texans. I just think it's just a bad idea.
And that is,
I'm sorry, I'm gonna interject here. We checked with the HOA attorney. It's the nonprofit
We don't even have an
corporate
election.
code that this falls under, which we also fall under for homeowners associations.
I know, but there's nothing
There-
in there about COVID. I mean, this was
No.
not supposed to happen. I just don't think it's very safe or wise. That's my opinion. I mean, I'm the only one of here, but
We checked. We have to have it in some form. They recommended remote, and people will still be able to watch it on Facebook. We're going to keep it an abbreviated meeting. But I know, Rihanna, I know how you think about it. I would soon cancel it as well, but we open up ourselves to legal ramifications from members who just want to make a point, and it's happened in the past. I've already discussed it with the auditor. He's not traveling. He's going to write a report for us on the audit that he wasn't able to give in March for the treasurer to present. We're going to keep it abbreviated. Things do start cooling off the end of August. We start getting back into the 80s and 90s.
Is it 29th? 29th?
29th, which is the very end of August, and we have to do it within the fiscal year. So I know, Rihanna, I'm all on that. I've talked to the attorney more than once, and they've all said.
I would bypass the attorney and go to I mean, I would go to because I just think that
You would have to get I'm sorry, it's state law, and we don't always agree with state law, but that doesn't mean that we can just say, we're not gonna do it because we don't agree with state law. We open up ourselves.
It also says that we have to do it in March, but we didn't do it in March, so we're already not in compliance, and look, we're still.
Yeah, but state law is the one that said you have to have it. So, Bill?
No, I agree, we just have it. Get it over with, get it done. We don't have any huge agenda to worry about, so it's just a quick meeting.
Just more money to throw away.
You know, it's almost like doing a meeting in executive session, because how many people are gonna come anyway? I don't think people are gonna travel from around the world to come over here who are members to come to a meeting, especially with COVID as it is.
Well, it says.
And the only ones who are gonna show up are gonna be
And they say,
members who live here.
But we still could do it in this form. It doesn't have to, it's whatever.
Well, governor says no more than 10 people indoors, so this is the outdoor venue. And we have a beautiful day.
How many people are on an outdoor venue?
We're lucky if we'll get 50.
But I mean, because we'll have
And
to
Philip,
monitor
they
that.
will mark the seats, and you can bring your golf carts, and we will probably require masks down in at least if you're not in your golf cart. We haven't come to all of the thing. We're just up for discussion to explain why we're doing it and why we're having it. And believe me, I've had 3 discussions with our HOA attorney to see if there's anything new out there that would allow us to escape this requirement, and he flatly said no. So other homeowners associations are running into the same problem. Some of the larger ones have the ability to Zoom, but you know, they've got 6,000 members and so forth that their finances are different. And we're a small homeowners association, as things go. So I agree with Rihanna. If there's any way we could cancel it, we should.
Purchase a license.
Rayanna asked if you could just call in on Zoom, but even with the school district, when it's over a certain number of people, you have to secure the license for that many.
And you're
Can we
charged
do like a
for-
temporary license? You know, like whenever we do temporary TABC, like if we do a beer booth, I mean, is there a temporary Zoom license, or do you have to get like a whole year membership?
I'm sure it can be negotiated with them, but it's still gonna cost us money.
money and it not.
Well, either way, I mean,
Well, that's going to cost us
And
money in addition
ambulances.
to the notice requirement. This is only going to cost the notice requirement. So, and the small cost for the plaques for employee and.
We might want to see if the ambulance can be parked out here, just because it's going to be really hot.
Maybe not.
What time are we planning on doing the meeting?
I would suggest we start
6.
early, like at 9.
8 or 9?
I would say 8 AM.
Yes.
I have no problem with 8 o'clock in the morning, but it's starting to get darker at that time too. But it'd be cooler. And let's.
Oh, 8 at night or 8 in the morning?
Morning.
Yeah, 8 AM. I would go with 8 AM on the 29th.
Wouldn't be more than an hour and a half, would it?
Yeah, and we're not doing lunch for a reason. We don't want it served live. And we don't think we're gonna have that many people, but it will be on Facebook, and we'll do the same thing we do for board members. If people have questions, they can send them to FCSA@4o'clock.com, so we can answer all of their questions. And we'll keep it brief, fulfill the legal requirement, because it is a membership meeting. It's different from a board meeting. It's a membership meeting. We have to give the members the opportunity to participate and be there in person, so. Okay, anybody else have anything out there?
I would like to suggest the possibility of doing it down under the trees on the other side of the pool. It's a big area. People could come in their golf carts, park them.
Is there electricity?
Do we have power?
I don't know.
Get a bullhorn.
Yeah, we've thought about it.
Probably would get one from the fire department.
My daughter has a megaphone.
We're still working on it. It's still scheduled for the 29th, and we can schedule it at 8 o'clock in the morning. And then everybody will be out of there in an hour and a half. Second, Helena.
I just have two thoughts. One, basically for Brianna, if we think it's too hot, we don't show up.
I know, I'm just thinking of the staff and then the money to prepare everything.
Dispatch, so we'll learn who's the member and the employee, whatever. I
Right.
mean, it's not that big a deal. It probably will take 45 minutes and we're done.
No, I know, it's just taking all this stuff down because we don't have another thing, so that means I'm kind of thinking of the staff. I mean, so we're going to pull all these mics out and take everything down wherever we're, I'm just a procedural kind, but it is, but we'll.
We would have had to take it
but
to
we're
the
gonna
post
do it.
theater anyway if we had had it, so it's.
Would the
I
karaoke
have
machine
one
not
more
work?
thought. Okay.
Maybe this big case, maybe we should try that since there may not be that big.
Because
of
the karaoke machine is lightweight.
Yeah.
I
We
have
only
a
really have
question.
one mic, well, we have one microphone because everybody comes up to the dais to speak. So we're going to work out the details, but I just wanted to bring it up that it's something that unfortunately we have to do. So we'll do it, get it over with, and look forward to March being better next year.
Well, it's not unfortunate we have to do it. I mean, I think the membership should have their meeting. It's just going to be a crappy one. I mean, you know, not anything we did, it's just because of the
contrary.
situation.
Oh, contrary. Okay, there was,
I had one more thought. If we made 13 grand on trapping deer, why are we canceling that contract? I never.
Because
We're gonna do the hunting season and they're gonna reevaluate it, because there's, and mainly when we get a manager, they can make that call if we wanna bring that back, because there's, potentially, we could have doubled the money if we extended the hunts versus, because of the pricing and the aging of the deer and everything. So that, not to say that we won't bring it back, but I just think that we need to take a pause and to see, plus what was removed, was a lot of our top breeders, because we want to make sure that we continue to have a hunt. And if things are removing out of that trapping, that's not going to be able to sustain us from hunting years on out. So we just need to do an evaluation.
Yeah,
and we suspend trapping for hunting season anyway.
yeah.
Because the hunters need to be out there, and we want those big deer available for the hunters, not for trapping. So it's normal for us to shut it down.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, is there a third comment on the annual meeting, anyone?
I want to
Okay,
say one word. I don't know what a web bar is, but that's another form of.
webinar.
Webinar.
I don't know what.
oh.
It's just a type of a meeting that you
Yeah,
can
but
hold
we
on
don't-
the internet.
Technically, we don't have.
Okay, do we have any announcements? Board, do you have
The
any?
2 workshops.
Oh, yeah, okay, you want to,
On August 1st from 9 to 11, there will be an architectural committee workshop. Where are we going to hold that?
here,
Here, okay, in the boardroom. And then from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock in the afternoon, same day, August 1st. There will be a presentation by a professional homeowners management company, Associa, out of San Antonio, that will be doing a presentation for the board. Members are strongly encouraged to come and listen to that workshop. The board is just gathering information at this point. Please do not think that we're running out crazy and doing something. We just want to learn about their services. So please, if you're interested, please show up and listen.
They're gonna just tell us the spill, and if we like it, then the spill goes out to you guys.
To the members.
Is that going to be broadcast?
We can live stream it, yes.
Well, we're thinking annual,
We were
the
thinking that,
membership meeting, if it's something that we can even,
if we think it's affordable, if it's something that we think would help, we would ask them to present it to the membership at the annual meeting.
and then maybe even put it on the
On the
ballot
ballot.
for the next year to vote on. But that way, the representative can kind
The
of,
point was that, are the members going to be able to hear what that person is telling you?
Right, yes, we can Facebook Live it on the association
I've
page.
had a number of people ask me, how come we haven't done what you're doing? That's why.
Well,
we're research stage right now.
In the past, we have actually looked into this. But there's different kinds of management companies, and this management company provides special services to assist existing boards and employees.
There's like different
Right,
packages.
not just coming in to manage the association, but providing assistance in, with personnel and accounting procedures and training people. It's not necessarily taking over and running the corporation.
they have a headhunter service that if we were with them right now, they would be looking for an executive officer for us with HOA experience. They provide continuing education for human resources, for accounting. They teach you your accounting.
Ethics classes?
Do what?
Ethics classes?
They have they honestly have board member training sessions to explain to new board members and old board members Property Code 209. They go through your governing documents and help you understand it. So each time there's an election, there is the potential that the board members, just like a school board has to go for training, the new board members would go for training.
Don't they also go after people who don't pay?
They also have collections, and based on what the board says, if the board says, we don't want to be overbearing, they'll be laxed. If the board says we need our money, then they file on you.
What about the people that wanna pay and you were taking over?
We're gonna get to you, Mr. Ritchie. We're gonna get to you.
In the past, we did, we did look at this several years ago, but in two management companies that came up were actually HOA management companies to take over control of the association, which meant we didn't need their employees, their managers, and so forth. And the problem with that is they have to make money. Somewhere they have to make money, and they make it off increased assessments. So after talking to them, assessments would have doubled, tripled, or quadrupled to be able to take care of all of the expenses, the daily expenses of operating the association, plus their profit margin. So we decided that that wasn't something that we needed to look at this time. But this is a different approach in this company. So what we're doing is listening, not making any decisions. You're welcome to listen right along with us. And
We will Facebook Live it for you, so.
yeah.
Is this on August 1st again?
Yeah,
August
August
1st.
1st.
Okay.
Okay, any other announcements from out here?
What time again?
The architectural is from 9 to 11, and then we take a lunch break, and so 1 to 3 would be with Lynn Harmon from Associa.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And we will notice both of those in the dispatch. So we will notice them within at least 72-hour notice.
Okay, thanks.
And Julie will diary that for us. Okay, we are going to adjourn to executive session. We have some member and some employee issues. So the time is 11:19, and we are adjourned to executive.